Okay, in this video I'm going to cut all the ports off and do everything as quickly as I possibly can. Let's get going. Might have slipped, but fortunately didn't cause any damage. Let's bend this backwards and forwards. As I said before, you have to be very careful when using those Dremel bits. Actually, this just needs a little bit of assistance. Just to weaken the metal up further. There it goes. These have been cut with the grounding strip. Bend backwards and forwards. Do the same with that. And with the video port. Okay, now best way of getting rid of this part is to use a small screwdriver to lift off these pins, to weaken it sufficiently so that you can then lift the rest of them off. They will be lifted as well. Doesn't have to be a really full job. The point is to remove all these excess pins, make it easier if I snap these off. You can see, just bend them backwards and forwards to break them off. That's one side. I know you can desolder these, but it's much easier just to leave them in this sort of state, because then you've got nice clear soldering points to play with. To make these look nice and flatter, use a good strong pair of pliers. It's a very strong metal. Of course, for the game ports, the reality is we only need these three because those are for player one. These we can remove more later if we need to. Ball trimming. Fingers a little bit doing that. Okay, so far we've removed the video port, the power supply, which is over here, the controller ports. These are easy to pop off. They're basically for the heatsink. Find a suitable screwdriver. Here we go. And to do that, just put a screwdriver in there and gently pry off. Don't throw these away, because the pad there will be utilised at a later stage. These are for the memory. Looks like that. These chips don't get particularly warm at all. These are the main processors, and they do. The game port, I've shown this before on a previous video, but all you're doing here is to weaken the grounding. Do the same on the other side, because the object is to relocate the game connection. Having a cartridge put in at 90 degrees on the console, I know some people have done it, but it looks pretty horrible. Much better keeping it flush with the system. Weaken the grounding until it comes off. Nearly that. Pop your screwdriver. I need to use a couple here, because what you're trying to do is to get underneath. We'll use a different screwdriver for this. I'll set this at speed. There we go. These pins can all be broken backwards and forwards until they come out. Again, not particularly comfortable for your fingers, particularly when you're doing it at speed. Make sure, incidentally, of course, all these pins are completely removed and that you don't have any little stragglers remaining, or to touch the board, which would cause a short. There was one or two that refused to come off like the rest. Nice and clean. And as it's already fallen out. Again, retain this. This is for the game. I'll show cart relocation in another video. But you keep the expansion port, simply because by the time you put a game in here, it needs somewhere to rest. It's pointless trying to relocate this when you have to have the thickness of the cartridge in any case. So, in the sake of a few minutes, the board is ready to carry on modding with.